My brother said, we should probably jump into this by getting into the Siddhas, which are really basically the central characters in the theme for today, beyond Kali. And what these Siddhas are men and women who have, now Siddha has a tendency to be more specific to men, while Devas have a tendency to be more specific to women. Remember, we're talking about an entirely different linguistic system. But it is just the notion that the ability to attain a higher state has actually been more highlighted in the past than it is now. And in fact, many of our ancestors, like direct ancestors, worked themselves on increasing their spiritual power and their spiritual potential. And it was very specific, meaning that there was layout to how you would go through this process of activation. And this brings us actually to the Siddhas, because the Siddhas were men and women who had started walking up that ladder of lights, climbing their own spine, and began to activate these powers that the community also needed. So if you were sick, you could come to a Siddha and they would have a solution for you, because that's all they worked on. Many of these people were excluded to caves themselves. They didn't really want to interact with the overall populace because they were practicing extreme asceticism to see how far they can really go. And one of the most important things to realize about this stage, which we always need to realize about the spiritual context to things, is that not everyone was a Siddha. In fact, it's just like you see today, but based on the ratio. Obviously, there's 9 billion people here. There wasn't that many people in the past. But in that same ratio of how many people are working on spiritual growth, so too in the ancient cultures, there were just small groups of people who branched out to see if they could actually begin to unlock some of these powers and abilities. And if they did, then you could go and find them. They wouldn't come back. It wasn't like they come back, hey, look what I got, look what I'm capable of doing. It was not that. It was, if you need some healing, there's a Siddha that lives in a cave over there, because those areas were really known by the people. Go to that cave and get some healing. And you can actually get that healing also for free, because anybody who generally got that healing, if they could give something, they gave it to the Siddha. And that actually started the process of devotion. That started the process which ultimately ended in sacrifice when it was taken the wrong way. But just the notion that if someone's able to do some extraordinary things in your life and to really move some things that were hindering you out of the way, then it's just simple act of kindness to actually give them something so they can keep doing that. Because these are not the guys that are going to work, right?
So can we get the one sentence on who or what the Siddhas are, and then what they have to do with this ancient system of chakras?
Sure. That the Siddhas are in themselves human beings who have taken themselves through the process of activating their consciousness. So